Great, welcome to today's class. It's our 5th lesson on transformations, whereby we are looking at our example number 5, which reads that on the grid below, an object T and its image T prime are drawn as shown. So this is our object T, which has coordinates at point A, B, and C. Then this is its image T prime, which has coordinates at points A prime, B prime, and C prime. So part A of the question, we are told to find the equation of the mirror line that maps T onto T prime. Remember, the transformation associated with a mirror line or defined by a mirror line, that is what we call reflection. So if you want to find the mirror line, you are simply going to take a point on the object with its corresponding image. So using the point A, you simply stretch your compass until it gets to its image, which is A prime. Then once it is at that position, you are going to make an arc on this side. Then of course you rotate it. You also make an arc on the other side. So I'm going to make an arc on this side. Then with the same radius, you transfer your pair of compass to A prime this way. Then of course you make an arc to meet the first arc that you had already made. Then you repeat the same process on this other side. So remember, you can also use C and C prime. You can as well use B and B prime. The line obtained will actually be the same. Then after that, you are going to join the points of intersection of these particular points. So I'm going to join this. Yeah, so that is the point of intersection of this particular two. So that means the line that is obtained, this is what we are calling the mirror line. So but the question wants us to find the equation of that particular mirror line. Remember, if you want to find the equation, you need to have the gradient. Therefore I'm going to pick 2 points along this line. So let me pick this point here. So this is coordinate -1, +1. So I want to use the point -1, +1. I can also pick another coordinate along this line. For example, let me pick, I can even pick 0, 0, provided it is on that line. So let me pick 0, 0. So the gradient will actually be equal to change in y over change in x, which is y2 minus y1, then divided by x2 minus x1. So I'll let this to be my x1, then this to be y1, this to be x2, then this is y2. So the gradient will give us y2 is actually 0 minus y1 is 1 divided by x2 is 0 minus x1 is -1. So this will give us -1 divided by 0 minus minus will give you a +1. Therefore the gradient is actually -1. So if we want the equation, I'm going to pick a point. That is one of the points that I've used here. So let me pick the point -1, then 1. Then you also pick another point xy. So I'm picking another point xy. So the gradient is -1. So of course we know that gradient, which is -1, should be equal to change in y, which will be y minus, the y coordinate of this is 1, divided by change in x, which is x, minus the x coordinate of this is -1. So this will be -1 is equals to y minus 1, then divided by x minus minus will give you +1. So if I do cross multiplication, I'll let this to be over 1. So I'm going to have -1 into bracket x plus 1. So x plus 1. Then this one will multiply the other side, should be equal to 1 into y minus 1. So if I open the bracket, I'll have -x minus 1 being equal to y minus 1. So I'll take -1 to this side so that it will be -x minus 1 then plus 1 will be equal to +y. So this one means y is equals to the negative of x. Therefore it means that the equation of this mirror line is line y is equals to -x. Therefore the equation of our mirror line is y is equal to -x. So this is the mirror line. Then I want to create some space here because I may need this part for some further working. So that is the mirror line. Then we move to part B of the question. We are told that T prime is mapped onto T prime prime by a positive quarter turn about 0, 0. So draw T prime prime. Remember, when you are told a quarter turn, you simply take a quarter of a complete circle is usually 360 degrees. Therefore, a quarter of 360 degrees will simply be 90 degrees. Then you are told it is a positive quarter turn. So that means we are going to rotate it through positive 90 degrees. Remember, positive means you are going to rotate in what we call the anti-clockwise direction. So we are going to rotate in the anti-clockwise direction. Then we are told that we need to rotate T prime so that we can get T prime prime. Therefore, T prime will act as our object. So if you want to rotate, we usually join all the points to the center of rotation. So we are told the center is 0, 0. So I'm going to join all the coordinates to the 0, 0, which is our center of rotation for this case. So I'll start with point A. I join it to the center of rotation, which is 0, 0. Point C, I also join it to the center of rotation, which is 0, 0. Then of course point B should also be joined to the center of rotation. Then of course after that I'm going to use my protractor to perform the rotation. So remember, the rotation is in the anti-clockwise direction. So you align your protractor to the center of rotation this way. Then I'm going to align it with let me start with the point A. So my point A is here. So let me align them well. So I need to ensure that this one is exactly at 0, 0. Then I'm going to align it along the line going to point A. Then where I have the 90 degrees, I'm going to draw a line from the center of rotation through the 90 degrees. So this is our 90 degrees. Actually, it's on the same line. Then after that, I'm simply going to count the number of boxes so that I see where my A prime will actually, it should lie. So from the center of rotation, I have 1 box, then 2 boxes up to A prime. So I'll also count 1, then 2 boxes. So that means my A prime prime will come at this point. So this will be A prime prime. Then I move to the next point, which is point B. I'll also take the compass, that is the protractor, to the center of rotation this way. I want to ensure that it exactly aligns there. Then I'm going to align the protractor along the line going to point B. Of course, let me ensure that this one is exactly at 0, 0. Then I align it to the point B. I want it to be as accurate as possible. Then I'm going to align it to point B. Then of course I can use my pair of compass so let me first of all join the line from the center of rotation through the 90 degrees. It has to pass through the 90 degrees. So from the center, which is 0, 0, my 90 degrees is actually at this point. This is the 90 degrees. Then after that, I'm going to use my pair of compass to ensure that the distance is retained. So with my pair of compass, I'll put it at the center of rotation, which is 0, 0. Then I'm going to stretch it up to the point B prime. So this is where I'm having my B prime. It is actually here. Then you simply rotate. You perform the rotation. Then I'm going to make an arc on this particular line. So this one simply means that our B prime prime will come at this particular point here. So this is where we are going to have our coordinate of B prime prime. So this will be our B prime prime. It should come at this particular point here. So this is our B prime prime. Then I'm going to move to point C. I repeat the same procedure. So using my protractor, I'm going to align it to the center of rotation this way. Then I'm going to move it such that it aligns with the line going to point C. Then of course where there is a 90, I'm going to draw a line through that particular 90 degrees from the center of rotation. So this is where I'm having my 90 degrees. Then I need to use my that is my pair of compass to ensure that the distance is retained. So I'm rotating point C, so my C prime is here, so I want to ensure that it exactly aligns with the point C. Then I simply rotate it. So if I rotate, you can see that my C prime should come at this particular point here. So I'm going to draw an arc. So the point that it goes through, this is what we are calling the point C prime prime. So this is C prime prime. Of course, after that, you simply join the points of intersection of these particular lines. So let me remove my pair of compass. So I'm going to join this particular point. So A prime prime should be joined to B prime prime. Then of course B prime prime should be joined to C prime prime. Then C prime prime should be joined back to the starting point, which was actually A prime prime. Then we move to so you are told that T maps T prime prime by a positive quarter turn. So it means that whatever we have obtained, that is what we are calling the T prime prime prime. So let me label it. So this is our T prime prime 2 times. So that is our T prime prime. Then part C, we are told that T prime prime is mapped onto T prime 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 by an enlargement scale factor 2, 0. Then that is center 2, 0 and scale factor of -2. So the first thing I'm going to do is to obtain the center of that particular enlargement. So the center is at point 2, 0. So this is 2, then 0. So it means this is our center of enlargement, the point 2, 0. So this is my center of enlargement. So we want to enlarge it through scale factor of -2. So the first step, we are going to join all the points to the center of enlargement. Remember, we want to enlarge T prime prime. So I'm going to join all the coordinates of T prime prime onto the center of our enlargement. Then remember, whenever the scale factor is negative, the object and the image should be on the opposite sides of the center of enlargement. Therefore, from point A prime prime, I'm going to join it to the center of enlargement. Then I need to elongate this to this other side, because I know that the image should come to that opposite side, because the scale factor is actually negative. Then I also join a point B to the center of enlargement, which is the point 2, 0. Then I'm going to elongate this this way. Then I also join C prime prime to the center of enlargement, which is this particular point 2, 0 here. Then remember, the scale factor is -2. The scale factor is -2. Then I'm going to use my pair of compass to perform the enlargement. So let me remove the protractor because I no longer need it. So using my pair of compass, I'm going to put it at the center of that particular enlargement. So this is my center of enlargement, the point 2, 0. This is the point 2, 0. Then I'm going to perform the enlargement. So to perform that enlargement, I'm simply going to take my pair of compass. Then I take it to, maybe we can start with point A. So point A is somewhere here. So our coordinate A. So let me start with point B. Let me start with point B because of the length of my pair of compass. So with point B, I'm going to align it here. So that is where I have B. Then I'm simply going to rotate it on this other side. Then remember, the movement should be twice because the scale factor is 2. So this is the first movement. Then retaining the same length of my pair of compass, I'm going to put it through this particular point here, then I need to make another arc on this particular line. So whatever I've obtained, that this is what I'm calling my B prime. So this will be my point B prime, prime, then prime. Then I'm going to move to point C and perform the same procedure. So I'll take my pair of compass back to the center of enlargement. So this is our center of enlargement. Then I'm going to rotate my pair of compass such that it aligns with the point C prime prime. So this is the point C prime prime. I need to reduce it a little bit. So this is C prime prime. Once it is there, I'm simply going to perform two movements because the scale factor is 2. So from the center of enlargement, this will be the first point. Then I also put it at this particular point. Then I perform the second movement. So because the scale factor is 2. So whatever I've obtained, this is what I'm calling my point C prime prime prime. Then for point A, I'm going to do it manually because the distance is so small. If I use my that is pair of compass, so you can actually just count manually. So from point A to the center of rotation, I'm having one box, then we have two boxes. So it means from the center, I'm also going to move two boxes. So this is 1, 2. So the first arrow should come at this particular point. Then the second arrow also after another two boxes, 1, 2. So this one means my A prime prime should come at this particular point, A prime prime prime. Then after that, you are simply going to join the points of intersection of this particular A prime prime. So A prime 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 should be joined to B prime prime. Then of course B prime prime to be joined to C prime prime. Then C prime prime should be joined back to the starting point. So that is an enlargement through a negative scale factor. Remember, if the scale factor was positive, then we expect this particular image to come to this other side, such that the object and the image will be on the same side of the scale factor, that is of the center of enlargement. But whenever the scale factor is negative, it means if the image is on this side, then the object, that is if the object is on this side, then the image should be on the opposite side of that particular center of enlargement. Then part D, we are told that given that the area of T prime prime prime, remember this is what we are calling the T prime prime, whatever we have obtained here, that is T prime prime prime. So given that the area of T prime 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 is 12 centimeters squared, calculate the area of T. So here we can use the relationship. What we are given the linear scale factor. So the linear scale factor is actually -2. So because we are given the area, we can find the area scale factor. So area scale factor is usually given by the square of the linear scale factor. So it means the area scale factor will be -2 squared, which should actually give us +4. Then remember the area scale factor. Let me create some space here. The area scale factor should give us what we call the area of the image, then divided by the area of the object. So remember that area scale factor is supposed to be given by the area of the image, then you divide with the area of the object. So this one means the area scale factor is +4, should be able to give us. So the image in this case will be the T prime prime prime. So the area of T prime prime prime, then you divide with the area of T. So the T will be the object in this case, which is equals to the area of T, given that the area of T prime 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 is 12. So this is 12 centimeters squared divided by the area of T. So if you do cross multiplication, it means we have 4 is equals to 12 centimeters squared, then divided by T. So over T, if I cross multiply, I'll have 4T being equal to 12 centimeter squared. divide through by 4. I also divide through by 4. I'm going to get the area of T being equal to 12 divided by 4. I'll get 3 centimeter squared. Therefore, the area of T will be 3 centimeter squared. So in our next lesson, we will be looking at further examples. Thank you very much for accompanying me until the end of this particular lesson. This is Kind Tuition.